How did a brand new lieutenant accidentally become the undisputed hero of the week? Fresh butter bars are usually disasters. Everyone knows this. They show up thinking West Point taught them everything, and the NCOs spend months fixing their mistakes. Lieutenant Keegan was different. Not because he was smarter, because he was so clueless that it somehow worked out. First week with our unit, Keegan gets lost trying to find the motor pool, completely turned around, ends up wandering into the old storage building that nobody uses anymore. The one command had been trying to inventory for 3 years but kept putting off. He's in there for 2 hours before anyone finds him. We figured he'd gotten kidnapped or fallen in a hole somewhere. Sergeant Boyd finally tracks him down, using his phone GPS. But here's the thing. While Keegan was lost, he wasn't just standing around. He'd found a notebook in his cargo pocket and started cataloging everything he saw. Old equipment, forgotten supplies, stuff that had been sitting there since before most of us enlisted. He walks out with 14 pages of handwritten inventory, just board documentation from a lost lieutenant with nothing better to do. Boyd looks at this notebook and his jaw drops. Sir, he says slowly, do you know what you just found? Keegan shrugs. Looked like old junk. Figured someone should write it down. That old junk included $40,000 worth of missing equipment, gear that had been reported lost years ago, stuff the unit had been charged for and forced to replace out of operating budget. The investigation revealed that a previous supply sergeant had been hiding equipment to sell later, got transferred before he could collect. The stuff just sat there, forgotten, while the unit kept paying for replacements. Keegan's accidental inventory recovered enough lost property to fund new equipment for 3 platoons. The battalion commander couldn't believe it, wanted to give him an award, but Keegan wasn't done accidentally being a hero. Second week, he's trying to learn the radio systems, keeps hitting wrong frequencies, drives the communications guys crazy. They're about to ban him from the equipment room entirely. Then, he hits a frequency nobody recognizes. Hears chatter that doesn't match any of our units. Instead of changing the channel like a normal person, Keegan starts taking notes, writes down everything he hears, times, call signs, locations mentioned, brings his notes to the operations officer like a kid showing his homework. Thought maybe someone was playing a prank. Wasn't a prank. Turns out a nearby unit had been running an unauthorized training exercise, using frequencies they weren't cleared for, interfering with emergency channels, the kind of violation that shuts down entire operations. Keegan's notes documented everything, gave our command the evidence to report it up the chain. The other unit's commander got relieved within a month. By week 3, people were following Keegan around just to see what he'd accidentally discover next. The man was a walking audit, a clueless chaos agent who somehow kept exposing problems nobody knew existed. His biggest accident came on day 19. Keegan's trying to find the gym, gets lost again, ends up in the administrative building after hours, sees a light on in one of the offices, figures someone's working late, knocks on the door to ask directions. The civilian contractor inside panics, starts closing windows on his computer, acting nervous. Keegan notices but doesn't think much of it, just asks how to get to the fitness center. The contractor gives him directions. Keegan leaves, but something bothers him about the guy's reaction. The sweat on his forehead, the way his hands were shaking. Keegan mentions it to Boyd the next morning. Just casual conversation. That contractor guy seemed really stressed last night. Boyd's ears perk up. What contractor? What office? Within 48 hours, investigators discovered the contractor had been accessing personnel files he wasn't authorized to see, selling information to outside parties. A security breach that had been ongoing for almost a year, all because a lost lieutenant knocked on the wrong door and noticed someone looked nervous. The battalion commander gave up trying to understand it, just started calling Keegan the luckiest idiot in the entire army. Keegan took it as a compliment. 6 months later, he'd accidentally uncovered 3 more inventory discrepancies, 1 safety violation in the motor pool, and a payroll error that was shorting 12 soldiers on their housing allowance. His evaluations were impossible to write. How do you rate someone whose greatest skill is being lost and confused? The NCOs eventually stopped trying to keep him on track, started pointing him toward areas they suspected had problems. Just wander around in there for a while, sir. See what you find. Keegan never caught on. Thought he was just bad with directions. His platoon Sergeant Boyd requested to stay with him for 3 consecutive duty stations. Said he'd never had an officer who made his job so easy. Last I heard, Keegan made captain ahead of schedule. Commands a logistics company now. His unit has the lowest discrepancy rate in the entire division. His soldiers have a nickname for his inspection style. They call it the Keegan method. Step 1, get completely lost. Step 2, write down everything you see. Step 3, accidentally become a hero. He still doesn't realize he's doing anything special. Just thinks the army has really poor signage.